Well, hello and welcome to The One Show with Alex Jones.
And Matt Baker. Now, all eyes are on the One Show changing room tonight. Behind each locker door is the name of a nominee for BBC Sports Personality of the Year.
Yes, not long to wait. And with the keys to unlock the secrets of the shortlist, it's the sportiest person we know, Gabby Logan. There were your keys. There you go. So, Gabby, you're going to be presenting Spotty alongside Claire Balding and Gary Lineker as well. Now, 16, surely that is the longest shortlist ever.
16 for 16. It's been such a phenomenally successful year for British athletes across a range of sports, let alone the Olympics and the Paralympics. So I think the panel of esteemed judges who decide the shortlist really just couldn't get it
Hard
down.
decision, isn't it, this
And
year?
yeah, for all the audience that were just glued to the telly all summer. I mean, what a choice. What a choice.
Anyway, in the meantime, could you help us announce our next guest?
Absolutely.
Now, he's not that sporty, but he's dabbled in a bit of boxing, hence the mic.
OK.
Who could this be?
In the One Show studio tonight, a comedic heavyweight weighing in at an amount he'd rather not say. He's the boxer that loves boxer dogs. It's Paul the Savage
Let's do a fist pump and don't knock me out. Good luck.
How are you?
Have a seat.
How do I get these off?
I don't know.
Oh, yeah, they've
There
just
you
slipped
go.
off.
Well, still, come on then, Paul. You're going to have to enlighten us. Were you actually a proper boxer when you were there?
I went to, it was the BAB, Birkenhead Amateur Boxers. I was in the Marine Cadets, you see.
Ah,
and so we were
part of
encouraged.
training.
Yeah, so I went to that, but not for very long, and I did judo and I did all these things. But
You're a pugilist.
Yeah, but I love the boxing.
Yeah.
I absolutely, it's one of my, well, I'd say it was my favourite
It's
sport.
amazing for fitness, isn't it?
Yeah,
Boxing
yeah.
As well.
And to, you know, I always used to go and see Amir when he fought, Amir Khan, you know, and those deadly jabs he'd give.
Absolutely.
Cracking boxer. He called me his good luck charm.
Did he?
Well, I'd be in the front row with Frank Warren shouting, "Kill him! Kill him!" And my sister would be watching the news going, "Away, Paul. You know, can't you restrain yourself?" But it's like, you know what the atmosphere's like in a
And he came up
boxing
through
match.
Olympic boxing. which
That's
is
right,
really
yeah, he
amateur
did.
boxing,
And
really.
his brother as well was a boxer,
yeah.
you know. So,
So you'll be hoping for a boxer to come out of the lockers tonight, then?
I am,
In the all
yeah.
sports
Well, we'll see.
personality.
Yeah.
There's
we'll see,
actual
we'll see.
people in the lockers, we should
We don't know yet. We haven't opened them. We don't know yet.
Well,
It may be out.
maybe.
We don't know it. Gabby's got the keys. OK. Well, of course, there is a major sporty theme tonight. And this summer, Bryony Page won Great Britain's first ever Olympic trampolining medal, adding to the sport's growing popularity.
Now, in the UK, we've gone from 6 to 120 trampoline parks in just 2 years. But there's a problem. Injuries are mounting up in an industry that up to now has been pretty much unregulated. Here's Trish.
Looks fun, doesn't it? But the boom in trampoline parks has seen a jump in figures for trampolining injuries, and some experts believe safety standards are lagging behind. In just 3 weeks last year, there were 102 accidents at a single centre in Edinburgh. This is the moment one trampolinist at the park broke his leg. The park said it has reviewed its health and safety procedures and that its accident figures were better than the industry norm. But according to British Olympic coach Paul Greaves, it's not the only park where there's been safety concerns.
I think the main issue is that there's no standard regulation for these parks. Practically, we're human catapults up in the air. If somebody isn't trained and doesn't know how to land safely, that can cause accidents and injuries.
At the moment, there are no industry-wide safety rules, so each park sets their own. But are they sticking to them? To find out, we sent our team undercover into several trampoline centres across the northwest of England, with instructions to film whatever caught their eye. And we've asked Paul to take a look at our footage.
You can see here, you know, already the rules have been broken about not running between the trampolines. Oh, somebody's fallen over already. If somebody trips over, your natural reaction is to, you know, put your arms and legs out. So there's a risk of a broken arm and things like that.
We saw running between the trampolines at 2 of the 6 parks we visited.
2 people are jumping on a trampoline at once. That could be quite dangerous.
We filmed double bouncing going on at 3 of the parks we visited, with no one intervening while we were filming.
You know, where are the staff members here? Some kids behind the wall, how does he know what they're doing?
Oh.
So you can't really control what somebody's going to do. It's just unfortunate the supervisor's actually got a back to this participant at the minute, and it's making sure that the staff are well trained and that they are appropriately supervising the activities that are going off.
We saw inadequate supervision at 2 of the parks. This busy park had no safety briefing before children were let loose on their trampolines. So do people worry about trampoline park safety?
Trampoline obviously so dangerous. I know like from experience I've seen people fall off and obviously break them, like break bones or whatever.
My cousin, who's 10, he actually broke his arm at a trampoline park.
Funnily enough, the day that we went there, somebody had broken the wrist.
Never had a safety briefing there, but there's a brand new one which we had to have a safety briefing before we went on that one.
Remarkably, safety briefings for visitors to trampoline parks are not currently compulsory. Peter Brown is chair of the recently formed International Association of Trampoline Parks. He's part of a team drawing up new rules that will become the industry standard.
We've been very responsible and come together very quickly in order to write a standard for the construction and operation of trampoline parks. Ultimately, as an industry, we don't want our customers being injured. If they're being injured, they're not having a great time and they're not coming back to our trampoline parks. So it's very important that we have the best possible practices in place.
The proposed new safety standards will include allowing only one person on a trampoline at a time, as well as making safety briefings mandatory. So, what does Olympic coach Paul make of the new rules?
I think there's some really great detail in there, and they've considered sort of like all areas. But I think there are things that they can include in there further as well.
The proposed directives say there should be one member of staff for every 20 trampoliners. Paul would like to see that number lowered, at least one for every 16.
We want to see people take part in the sport, and we want to see the activity grow. I mean, it's phenomenal for people in terms of fitness and enjoyment, but obviously in a safe environment.
Well, Trish, there will be lots of concerned parents out there, but obviously children love them. So what can we do in the meantime until the regulation comes to minimise the risks then?
Well, Alex, we've all got to have some common sense,
Yes.
really, and be vigilant. I mean, don't book anywhere if they haven't got a safety briefing. And if they do, you take your kids and grandkids there, make sure they listen.
Yeah.
I know they're leery because they're excited, they want to get on the trampolines, but make sure they watch those videos and listen. And if you're there, don't just watch on the balcony. You know, if you think your kids and grandkids are messing about, get in there and help the staff out, because the staff haven't got eyes in the back of their head. Everyone needs to be vigilant. And if you've got any problems and you've got any concerns, get the kids and grandkids out.
And talk to other parents and see what they're saying. And what about the consultation then?
Well, the consultation is out right now. It's available online if you want to have a look at it. A lot of people are having a say on it, the insurers, British Gymnastics, and the Royal Society of the Prevention of Accidents have said once it does become finalised, they want all trampoline parks to implement these new rules and regulations. But it's going to be about 18 months in the process.
Yeah.
So we all have to be vigilant and make sure that we keep our kids and grandkids safe.
I mean, there's a lot of bounce, isn't there, in those big trampolines?
There is.
Yeah.
You'd fly off, you.
Well, I did. You know, I went out
I'd pay good money
and
to
like
see
you
them,
jump on
Paul.
enthusiastically, next thing you're over the hedge, you know,
This is
before
it.
you realise.
Exactly. Well, it'd be interesting to see what 2 former gymnasts think of this. So, Matt?
Yes. Do you know, for me, it's not so much the rules, it's more about the actual design of the place, because your instinct tells you that you want to jump from one bed to another. Gabby, I don't know what you think
My
about
kids
it,
love
but-
them. They've been invited to lots of parties at them and they have fantastic time. But you do worry there's so many kids there that, the people who work there can keep their eye on everybody. So good advice from Trish.
And also the parkour and all that kind of stuff that you see, on the internet and this, that and the other. Actually, you just want to have a go at it and do it. And I think there just needs to be more netting around each individual bed myself, but there we are. Anyway, the moment has finally arrived. It's time to open the doors and see the nominees for this wonderful trophy here for Sports Personality of the Year, which Andy Murray won last year. So, Gabby, would you do the honours for us, please?
An absolute pleasure, Matt, yes. Jamie Vardy.
Vardy around De Gea to level it up for Leicester.
Gareth Bale. Nick Skelton.
It'll be gold for Nick Skelton. He is the oldest Great Britain medalist for yonks.
Sophie Christiansen.
Paralympic champion Sophie Christiansen continues to lead the way for GB's para dressage team.
Kate Richardson-Walsh.
She's it! Great Britain's women, they have done it!
Danny Willett.
And Willett has won the Masters by 3.
Nicola Adams.
Nicola Adams, only the second British boxer to ever retain an Olympic gold medal.
Andy Murray.
Blasted long by Novak Djokovic. Murray has done it.
Well, there's the first 8 of 16 this year. Hey, already a very, very good lineup.
Gosh, yes.
Let's start that end, shall we, with 2 footballers.
Absolutely. Jamie Vardy and Gareth Bale. Jamie Vardy, of course, the Leicester player who was part of that phenomenal team that went into the season 5,000 to 1
what a
to win
story.
the Premier League, and they did. He became the goal scorer of the most consecutive goals in the Premier League. He won Player of the Year as well. You know, played for England in the Euros. But if we're talking Euros and Wales, obviously.
Come on, Gareth Bale.
Gareth Bale getting to the semi-finals, not on his own, obviously, he had a team around him, but that amazing success in France. But for Gareth, his success was for Real Madrid and the Champions League as well.
Yes.
He was nominated for the Ballon d'Or as well. And then we've got equestrian sport.
I love Nick Skelton.
Amazing.
He made me cry.
58 years old, second oldest Olympian ever, but we have to go back, back to the early part of the last century to get the previous one. He was almost retired through a horrific back injury 12 years before, and the first ever show jumper from Great Britain to win gold. Amazing achievement on Big Star. Sophie Christiansen, 3 Paralympics. She's been phenomenally successful equestrian rider. 3 golds in Rio for her. Kate Richardson-Walsh.
Talk of Olympic moments.
A moment
The team
that
came in and they were fantastic.
The captain of the hockey team, of course. I mean, you have to pick one person out of that team. She's led them, 370 times.
Yeah.
Danny Willett, of course, winning the Masters. Almost didn't make it there because his wife was due to have their son, as it turned out to be. He came early. He got on the plane and said, I'll go out and play then.
He did it all.
Won it for the first time since Nick Faldo. And Nicola Adams, history maker. Incredible, retaining her Olympic gold, which she won in London in the boxing. First woman to ever do that in boxing.
Paul Zappi, Nicola Adams has come out.
Yeah, she's just phenomenal.
And another big hitter, of course.
Yeah, what's
Andy
he done
Murray.
this year, Andy Murray? Well, I'll tell you what he's done. He not only won Olympic gold in Wimbledon, he finished the year as the #1 tennis player in the world. I mean, he's just... And he had a baby at the beginning of the year as well.
And
Well,
if he gets it, then it'll be the 3rd time that Andy Murray has won.
Unprecedented, yeah, and just amazing. I mean, that's an incredible 8, isn't it?
I mean, I'm already confused. I don't know. And there's another 8 to go.
There is, Alex.
Come on, then. Let's find out.
Do you need some
who they
change
are.
for the
have you got
lockers?
some change for the
Yeah, get your quid out. There we go.
Max Whitlock.
Great Britain's Max Whitlock is the floor Olympic champion.
Adam Peating.
Adam Peating's won gold. It's another fantastic world record for him.
Alistair Brownlee.
Alistair Brownlee becomes a double Olympic gold medalist.
Mo Farah.
Mo Farah is going to get gold for Great Britain again. The double-double.
Dame Sarah Story.
Gutsy rider Story. What a performance, though, by Great Britain.
Kadina Cox.
And Kadina Cox is the new world champion, having set a new world record earlier today.
Jason Kenny.
Jason Kenny wins his 3rd Olympic gold medal in 6 days.
Laura Kenny.
The first British woman to win 4 Olympic gold medals.
So there's your 16.
Oh, but there's a married couple?
I know. Incredible, isn't it? That they've got 10 Olympic golds now between them, the Kennys. Obviously, she achieved it as Trot, but she's entering this as a Kenny. And Jason Kenny already has 6 Olympic golds. And Chris Hoy himself, who he equalled his Olympic record, said he could easily double that tally because he's still the same age that Chris won his first Olympic gold. Yeah. So they're just incredible. Kadina Cox, not content with dominating 1 Paralympic sport, she wins gold in 2 Paralympic sports in athletics and cycling. She's a phenomenal athlete, amazing. And Dame Sarah Story, the most successful Paralympic athlete ever now with 14 golds as well, 3 out there in Rio. And Mo Farah, last year I think Claire told you that he was a treble double medalist. He's now a quadruple double gold medalist on the global stage. He's the most successful athlete of all time in terms of gold hauls at major championships. Amazing. And look at that man, Alistair Brownlee, the triathlete who retained his gold. But not only that, I think gave us all one of the great moments of the year, sport or anything else, when he picked his brother
in Mexico,
up.
wasn't it, World Cup?
In Mexico, yeah. Who was his brother, of course, Johnny, was silver medalist in Rio, was collapsing on the line, and Alistair really sacrificed his own race to carry him across.
And
it still
just
gives me
for that,
goosebumps.
it would be lovely.
Amazing. And Adam Peaty, our gold medal swimmer, who world champion, of course, last year he won 3 golds in the world, and this year backing it up, you know, in a sport where he had to break the world record every time he got into the pool. You know, he was just phenomenal out there in Rio. I don't think he had to, actually, he just did. And there, Max Whitlock. If I had to guess where Matt's vote's going...
Well, I'm biased, of course.
You can't say it.
I'm just saying, I am biased, but, you know, making history in that way.
Well, he made history not once, but twice in an hour and a half. He wins the first ever gold for Great Britain in gymnastics, and then an hour and a half later, and did it. And the floor with those Brazilian performances as well, Matt, was just so emotional. Wasn't it?
Do you know what? Even when you just look at all of that, I think we should just give them all another round of applause and say well done to all those that didn't make it, because what an unbelievable lineup. We said 16.
It really is. And, you know, 15, 20 years ago, you'd have people in the top 10 who'd got a silver, or maybe, you know, now we're leaving out gold medalists because the talent pool is just so rich.
I just don't know. I mean,
I do. I know.
You know how to decide. The public will decide in the show, in the live show on the 19th of December.
Well, it is an amazing shortlist, and the winner will be announced live on BBC One, coming from the Genting Arena in Birmingham on December the 18th. And if you want to be there, tickets are still available. Go to our website to find out how you can get your hands on some.
Now, Gabby, we know that your dog, Milo, is also very sporty, similar to yourself. We've got some footage. This is Gabby's dog show jumping in the utility room.
Amazing.
Look at that.
My daughter's obsessed with making our dogs jump, and if it's raining, she brings them inside, shuts the door. I go, what's going on in there? Nothing. And I go in, and all the laundry baskets are piled up.
I'm just impressed with your utility. I think it's lovely. Well, unfortunately, not all pets are as well trained as Milo, as Miranda's been finding out.
Cats may look cute, but beneath their fluffy exterior is a darker side. The predatory instincts cats inherit from their wild ancestors still run strong, and their impact on British wildlife is, well, catastrophic. It's estimated that domestic cats kill 55 million birds in Britain every year. On top of that, they're catching everything from mice and voles to squirrels and snakes. So, is there anything we can do to curb the killer in our cat? The One Show is conducting an experiment with 3 cat owners whose pets are wreaking havoc on their local wildlife. Meet Jemima, mother to Rocket, beloved pet to owner Charlene.
Jemima is queen of the close. She's a feisty cat. She catches around about 1 or 2 birds, frogs or anything else a week.
This is Jack and doting owner Gemma.
Well, at least every 3 weeks we get a little present.
Finally, Ryu and Kovu and their increasingly frustrated owner, Anna.
Ryu's always been a hunter and has been showing Kovu how to hunt since he was a kitten.
Time for our cats to meet their match. Feline behaviour specialist Dr. Sarah Ellis. She's giving each of our 3 cat owners a different strategy to help control their cats' hunting habits.
So Jemima's quite a bird hunter, and that's what we're really going to try and reduce. So we've got these special collars, and they're really brightly coloured. She can still carry out her normal hunting behaviour, but the birds will be alerted to her presence much quicker.
So Anna's cats, Ryu and Kovu, tell me about them.
We've introduced puzzle feeding, so redirecting that exploratory, working, hunting for your food type behaviours, and the cat has to work hard, manipulating the puzzles to get the food out, and that'll mentally and physically stimulate the cat, giving it less time and less energy to go out and hunt.
Jack, what are we going to do about him?
With Jack, we're going to introduce much more play, with toys that look like prey and will move them like prey to redirect that hunting behaviour onto something much more appropriate.
Each family has just 1 month to implement Sarah's strategy, and they'll be giving us regular updates on their progress via video diary.
I think they're finding it difficult to have the collar on because they feel stupid. Let's go for the close-up.
As you can see, we've been left a present, so I think we're going to have to start playing with Jack again.
The little one, Kovu, brought back 4 animals within the space of 12 hours. 2 mice, a shrew and a bird.
All in all, jolly good show.
After 4 weeks, how have our cats and their owners got on? First up, it's Charlene and her colourful cat collars.
Collars are great, they work, the cats haven't brought anything back since I've been using them. Although the cats don't like wearing the collars, it's been a positive experience. No presents, nothing, which is great.
But it's not all good news with Anna and her puzzle feeder.
It seems as though it's escalated or accelerated Kovu to go out and get more mice.
But when it came to meal times, Anna's cats worked their charms with some pleading eyes.
I've sometimes bowl-fed my cats because they demand the food. I'm surprised the mouse population is still going around here.
And finally, how's Jack got on with his new play toys?
So we're definitely playing with him a lot more than we ever did before. We were getting a lot of prey. Now we haven't had anything, so I would like to carry it on in the future.
Oh.
Everyone will be shouting bells on the collar.
Yeah,
everyone will be shouting.
Solution.
Yeah, bells on the collar.
Just put a bell on the collar, you know.
Yeah.
I'd love a cat.
Well, I can't believe you haven't got a cat.
With all your trips to Battersea, Paul?
Well, I go in the cattery. They're all here, by the way, all the Battersea lots. Yeah.
Hello.
If I was going to get a cat,
in.
I'd get a nice big black Tom, you know, a proper farm cat, an old cat, not a kitten.
But just to help you out around the farm, you know.
Well, because we've got a problem with rats at the moment,
Yeah.
you know. But I wouldn't want him to bring a rat in and throw it on my bed with no head.
No.
No.
But I think it's a present.
Well, this is it, you know. But yeah, but I've got 5 maniac dogs, and the cat would have a nervous breakdown. I guarantee you. So it'd have to be a pretty hard-knocked cat if I was going to adopt.
Well, listen, talking of Puss in Boots, shall we move on to
Very
Panto?
good. Yes, let's get festive, Paul.
OK.
Because you're at the Palladium
I am.
doing the big Panto this year.
Yeah.
And we usually see you in quite nice roles. I mean, it's Cinderella this year.
Yeah.
But you've turned a little bit naughty.
Oh, I'm rotten in this. I'm Cinderella's stepmother. I can't tell you what fun it is stonking around being evil.
Really? OK.
Yeah.
OK. Well, listen.
Yeah. You get it out, you know. You're like...
Yeah. Well, we've got a night of big reveals, of course, and now you are going to reveal the character that you are playing. We've got a wonderful picture here. So, as if by magic, there you are, obviously as normal, and then. And there we are, Paul.
Wow. You look fabulous.
It's been heavily touched up, yeah.
Look at your waist, Paul.
That's
Nothing off
hoiked in.
you.
That's all hoiked in. Listen, I'm like a couch under that. It's all sponge, foam, rubber and bone in. Yeah, seriously.
Now, you've gone back to drag, obviously. Did
Yeah.
you have much input into what the character would look like?
Yeah, definitely. You know, because Panto dames, normally, they're like big fellas. But when you're the villain, I always think the villain should be slightly, you know, skinny.
Live.
Yeah, like a bit like Cobra-like, you know? And that's what this one is. And she's a mean-tempered monster who abuses poor old Cinderella.
Aww.
And Natasha J. Barnes, who plays, it's so hard, you know, to do all the turning up of the ticket with her. Because she genuinely looks at me with these big eyes, and I'm going, turn it up.
Now, obviously, Lily was retired, so what has the process been like for you getting back into this kind of
It's the same
role?
thing with a black wig on. Yeah.
Is it? Oh, really?
Well, it's hard not to, you know. It's only she's rotten. This one is truly rotten, you know.
Right.
And because I was thinking Panto, any fairy tale, you can't have a hero or a heroine without adversity in the form of a really strong villain. You know, you don't get the happy ending until you've suffered. That's the moral of it.
Yeah.
And, of course, I'm the adversary with 2 hideous daughters. Not hideous looking.
But the cast's unbelievable.
Oh, it is. We've got a picture of the cast. Look, we've got Amanda's the fairy godmother.
Yeah.
We've got Julie and Clary there. Look, Nigel Haver's popping up as well on the side.
Lee Mead.
How are the rehearsals going then? Because you're going in shortly, aren't you? We started.
Well, they've been a nightmare all last week, because me and Julie and Clary, we've got quite a few scenes together. And I can't look at him in the eye, and he can't look at me in the eye, because we were supposed to have a fling, the characters were, years ago in the circus. So there's all this patter going on, and, like, you just dissolve into tears in the end.
Yeah.
But it's best to get it out now before we go on
Yes.
stage, because then you can say it poker-faced, you know? But at the moment, we've just all been roaring laughing.
I can't imagine the pranks.
Oh,
you guys
he
are
looks
gonna
like
get
an
up to.
explosion in a hen house. You've never seen anything. He's a mess of feathers, and he does. He looks like one of those old 3-piece suites and all that, you know, the floral patterns. His costumes are outrageous. Mine, as you can see, they're all sort of Very slinky.
Very stylish.
Yeah.
Very.
Well, listen, Paul, we've got just a little bit of time to talk about this wonderful documentary that you've been making about fairy tales as well over in Bavaria.
Yeah,
The Grimm brothers.
Yeah, it was all about, you know, the origins of fairy tales, because they're pretty horrific, you know.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Very dark, weren't they?
Really bad,
Yeah.
you know, and then the Grimm brothers came along and they sort of made them more palatable for children's tastes.
Yeah.
And also...
What a great idea for a documentary.
Well, it was lovely, you know, because I've always been interested in them. And I always find the villains fascinating.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry to say this, but women make the best villains.
Yeah.
Look at the Wicked Queen, Wicked Fairy, Wicked Why are stepmothers always wicked? I mean, they've always been much maligned, haven't they, stepmothers?
Yeah. True.
You know, and they're quite interesting. It's all about the forces of good and evil, and there's a moral tale in there. With if you're good and nice, you'll get, you know, a happy ending, which, of course, we all know is a load of rubbish.
Well, it is. It's all right for banter.
It is,
so that's on ITV, isn't it, over Christmas?
Yeah.
A busy boy you are.
And we've got a Battersea dogs as well, and they're all here, the team. Yeah. All the hard working team.
Shout out on the show, it's incredible. And you can see Paul.
I've been at it, to tell you the truth.
And if you would like to see Paul and Cinderella, then you can go along to the London Palladium from the 10th of December until the 15th of January. What a
Lovely,
show.
thank you.
Time now for a window into someone else's life for the next in our series of films, A Room with a View.
Yes, now, no man is an island, but meet Stuart. He lives on one.
My name is Stuart, and this is my view. I live on Flatham Island in the Bristol Channel. We are about 5 miles south of Cardiff. I initially came here as a volunteer, but since taking on the warden's role, I've been in my window seat for the past 2.5 years. I can see from beautiful sunny days in the summer to 80-mile-an-hour winds in the winter. Sometimes even just a passing ships can keep you occupied, wondering where they've been. It's been a big career change for me. I've gone from working indoors to outdoors now. The pressures on the mainland started the minute I got up in the morning, an environment where it's hard to hear yourself speak. It was just no longer fun anymore. My view inspires me, gives me ideas, plans for future projects, and the island gave me that escape. Modern day technology, like the TV, the internet, they're just not important when you've got views like we have. You have to be able to enjoy the solitude of what you have here on the island. The relationship I have with this view is very important to me. It becomes a drug.
Yeah, thank you, Stuart. And if you have got a room with a view, it doesn't have to be fancy, just one that means something to you, then do let us know at the usual address.
Well, thank you very much to Gabby and, of course, to you, Paul.
You're welcome, thank you.
Sports Personality of the Year will be coming live from Birmingham's Genting Arena on BBC One on the 18th of December.
And as we've been saying, you can see Paul and Cinderella at the London Palladium from December the 10th.
Tomorrow we'll be joined by the brilliant Victoria Corrin Mitchell. See you then.
Good
Bye.
night.